fellowshipping, you know?
Right.
So we see each other around, but we don't get it. Usher, how you been, man? I've been seeing you so long.
How much did we drink?
You don't even know what's going on. You trying to say something, Usher?
I'm trying to say something.
What do you want to say?
I don't know if I should, but I'm
What?
trying.
You drank that beer, you drank 2 shots of tequila.
Yeah, right.
You drank
Fired
1
up.
Caipirosha.
Let me say fired up. Yeah. That's your group, right? Fired up.
I like the
fired up.
Your forehead is sweating like Uncle Leroy.
It's hot as hell.
It ain't that hot.
What's more?
The result of being around that man, Sean Puffy Combs, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping to this day. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I mean, I'm 13 years old, and I'm telling him, look, you're gonna put me in the studio, man.
Yeah, savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get! I am the fucking hardest hustler in the world! This is Savage Part 2! Don't tell me about shit! It's 2022 and I'm still a savage! Whatever I want, I get! Whatever I want, I fucking get!
Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Hey, hey, hey.
Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. And he said, yo, would you send your son to Diddy camp? And Usher said, no. Ask him why he won't send him to Diddy camp.
Some documentaries inform. Some entertain. And some walk into the internet like they just kicked open the vault door and yelled, "Everybody come look at this." Because the moment buzz started building around 50 Cent's documentary and its conversations touching the Diddy and Usher era, timelines didn't scroll, they shook. Reaction channels woke up like emergency sirens. Comment sections turned into debate arenas. And social media analysts, also known as people with opinions and Wi-Fi, clocked in immediately. Fans are saying the documentary stirred up old industry stories, revived uncomfortable questions, and reopened conversations people thought were permanently archived next to flip phones and MySpace passwords. Critics say it's selective storytelling. Supporters say it's overdue reflection. The internet says, press play again and argue louder. This isn't just doc buzz, this is cultural noise with subtitles. Because whenever hip-hop history, power players, and legacy conversations collide, the reaction is never quiet. It's fireworks in a library. Today, we're breaking down the documentary buzz. The Diddy and Usher debate waves, the reaction economy explosion, and why fans are acting like a sealed file just grew legs and started trending. The internet doesn't treat documentaries like documentaries anymore. It treats them like grenade pins. The moment buzz started building around 50 Cent's documentary revisiting parts of hip-hop's past and touching conversations connected to the Diddy and Usher era. Timelines didn't scroll, they snapped to attention. Reaction channels sat up straight. Comment sections stretched their fingers. And social media detectives, certified by absolutely nobody, clocked in for overtime. Because when a major rap figure produces a documentary that revisits industry chapters, people argue about, speculate about, and whisper about like hallway rumors at a high school reunion. The reaction is never calm. It's never casual. It's cinematic. This isn't just streaming content. This is cultural dynamite with subtitles. The buzz didn't start with outrage. It started with curiosity, which is more dangerous online. Outrage is loud.
Curiosity is sticky.
Preview clips circulated. Quotes got reposted. Short excerpts traveled with captions written by people who believe subtlety is illegal. Not full context, just enough spice to trigger the most powerful engine on the internet. Confident interpretation. Suddenly everybody had a conclusion based on a teaser, a clip, and a comment from someone who knows how the industry really works. Which, historically, has always been accurate, according to absolutely no one with a fact-checking job. Fans began saying the documentary stirred old conversations about industry power, artist experiences, and behind-the-scenes culture during certain eras. Not courtroom verdicts, conversation triggers. But the internet treats conversation triggers like final rulings by lunchtime. Once a topic trends, Nuance packs a bag and leaves town. Reaction creators wasted 0 seconds. Upload buttons got punched like time clocks. What this really means? Details they don't want you to notice. Hidden layers breakdown. Thumbnails looked like everyone just discovered a secret vault under a record label office. Shock faces. Red arrows. Circles around things that may or may not be chairs. Supporters of the project say documentaries are supposed to revisit uncomfortable chapters and challenge polished legacy narratives. Critics say documentaries can also frame stories through selective lenses and dramatic pacing. Both sides agree on one universal truth: calm discussion is not invited to this party. And once debate starts, the algorithm orders front row seats and extra popcorn. The presence of names like Diddy and Usher in the same conversation orbit as documentary buzz created what I call attention gravity. Big names bend timelines. Not because of new confirmed facts, but because of renewed discussion. Legacy plus mystery equals engagement math that platforms absolutely adore. People started revisiting old interviews, like archaeologists with Wi-Fi. Old clips resurfaced. Old quotes got reinterpreted. Old moments got new captions that sounded like movie trailers. Context sometimes survived the trip. Sometimes it got edited into a suspense soundtrack. Podcast panels jumped in fast. Because nothing fuels long-form talking like short-form controversy. Hosts leaned forward. Voices got serious. Phrases like industry culture, power dynamics, and behind the scenes started getting repeated like chorus hooks. Half the time, the debate was about what the documentary might be implying, not what it directly said. Interpretation has entered the chat and brought a megaphone. Let me translate how internet amplification works. A documentary says, "Here is a perspective." The internet hears.
Here is a confession. A clip says, "This was complicated."
The caption says, "This changes everything." Exaggeration doesn't walk online. It travels first class. Meme culture arrived right on schedule, wearing running shoes. Fake case files. Mock industry secrets folders. Parody investigation boards made of screenshots and string. When memes show up, the topic stops being serious only and becomes culturally permanent. The internet stamps it into shared memory with jokes and sound effects. Another reason the buzz exploded is timing psychology. Audiences are already primed for truth behind the curtain narratives. People love behind-the-scenes stories more than front-stage performances. Pull back the curtain, even slightly, and viewers act like they found a hidden level in a video game. Comment sections turned into debate arenas with unlimited microphones and 0 referees. Long threads. Caps lock speeches. Paragraphs beginning with "Y'all don't understand the industry." Counter paragraphs beginning with "You're reaching." I've seen calmer exchanges in competitive chess. Tournaments. Media blogs stacked headlines quickly. Every preview mention becomes a story. Every reaction becomes a story. Every response to the reaction becomes a follow-up story about the response to the reaction. It's headline nesting dolls. Open one and there are 3 more inside. What really drives documentary-based drama buzz is implication energy. Not accusation, implication, suggestion, question marks with dramatic lighting. Humans are wired to fill gaps with narrative. If a story opens a door halfway, the audience kicks it open mentally and starts rearranging furniture. Supporters argue that revisiting eras and experiences is necessary for cultural maturity. Critics argue that retrospective storytelling can reshape memory depending on framing. That debate, perspective versus portrayal, becomes the intellectual version of a rap battle. Except with longer sentences and worse rhythm, and here's the twist. Most viewers discussing it haven't even watched the full documentary yet. They're reacting to reactions of previews of discussions about clips of commentary about themes. That's not secondhand information. That's 4th-generation telephone game with HD thumbnails. Still, the curiosity wave keeps building. Because when legacy names, industry history, and documentary storytelling collide, attention doesn't just show up, it camps overnight. And if you think the curiosity phase is loud, wait until the reaction phase fully ignites, because that's when interpretation turns into spectacle. And debate turns into sport. Once the documentary buzz crossed the curiosity line and entered full reaction mode. The internet didn't just respond, it split into tribes. Built camps, raised flags, and started debate tournaments with unlimited rounds. Because now it wasn't just about what the documentary showed, it was about what people believe it suggests, might imply, could be hinting at. Or definitely proves, according to a guy with a podcast and dramatic background music. Reaction creators launched breakdown videos like emergency broadcasts. Titles screaming urgency. Thumbnails screaming louder. What they're really saying, the hidden meaning. Industry layers decoded. I've seen calmer packaging on hot sauce bottles. Every clip got paused, replayed, zoomed, and analyzed like it was game footage from a championship final. Podcast panels jumped into formation like intellectual boxing matches. Hosts leaning forward. Guests interrupting. Everyone saying, "Let me be clear," right before making things more complicated. Some defended the documentary approach as cultural reflection. Others criticized it as selective framing with cinematic seasoning. Nobody whispered. Indoor voices were officially off-duty. This is where interpretation inflation reached superhero level. A cautious statement becomes a bold claim after 3 reposts. A nuanced comment becomes a dramatic conclusion after 5 reaction clips. By the time a quote completes its social media tour, it comes back wearing armor and theme music. The presence of legendary names in the conversation orbit multiplied everything. Not because new verified facts dropped, but because legacy gravity is real. Big names bend attention. Attention bends interpretation. Interpretation bends headlines. Headlines bend reality like a funhouse mirror with WI-V. Social media threads started reading like digital detective novels. If you connect this interview from years ago with this clip and this comment, you'll see the pattern. The pattern might be real, imaginary, or emotionally constructed, but confidence levels remained undefeated. Certainty online requires 0 permits. Meme culture didn't just join, it hosted the afterparty. Fake evidence boards made of screenshots and red string. Mock documentary trailers with deep movie voice narration. Parody industry files, folders stamped top secret, in fonts downloaded 5 minutes earlier. In fonts downloaded 5 minutes earlier. When memes industrialize a topic, it achieves cultural immortality whether it deserves it or not. Then came the body language experts. My favorite recurring internet species. Suddenly, everyone is a certified micro-expression analyst. Notice the pause, watch the eye movement. That blink meant everything. According to the timeline, blinking is now legally suspicious. The outrage versus entertainment divide became impossible to ignore. Some viewers treated the documentary discussion like serious cultural review. Others treated it like prestige drama with bonus interviews. Same content, different emotional filters, completely different conclusions. It's like 2 people watching the same movie, one calling it a tragedy and the other calling it a comedy with better lighting. Media. Outlets stacked coverage like pancakes at a breakfast buffet. First headline, documentary buzz. Second headline, reactions to the buzz. Third headline, reactions to the reactions. Fourth headline, someone reacting to being reacted to. This is headline recursion, where news covers the echo of the echo. Another escalation layer came from clip isolation. Short excerpts traveled faster than full context ever could. A 2-minute segment outruns a 2-hour film every time. That's not a glitch, that's the internet's preferred format. Speed beats depth. Always has. Probably always will. Supporters of the documentary framing argued that revisiting eras and power dynamics is necessary for cultural transparency. Critics argued that retrospective storytelling can unintentionally reshape perception through selective emphasis. That debate turned comment sections into philosophy classrooms. Taught by people typing very fast. Pop culture comparisons started flying like thrown confetti. Some said the reaction cycle feels like a courtroom drama mixed with reality TV and a conspiracy thriller. Others said it's like opening a time capsule and finding a megaphone inside. When discourse gets compared to 3 genres at once, spectacle status achieved. And of course, the prediction industry showed up. The internet's favorite hobby. Response interview coming. Counter documentary.
Coming. Legal statements coming. Tell-all book coming.
Online. Forecasting has a 50% accuracy rate and 100% confidence rate. Here's the psychological multiplier mystery space. When a documentary raises questions instead of closing them, audiences rush in to fill the gaps with narrative. Humans hate empty boxes. If a story leaves blanks, the internet brings permanent markers. Reaction live streams turned into marathon sessions. Chat scrolling like a slot machine. Super chats funding louder opinions. Panelists debating implications like they're negotiating international treaties. I've seen quieter energy at live auctions. Meanwhile, calmer voices saying, watch the full context first, got treated like party guests, asking to lower the music. Technically reasonable. Socially ignored. But beneath the noise sits the core truth. Renewed discussion does not equal confirmed wrongdoing.
Conversation is not conviction.
Debate is not proof. But online, volume often disguises itself as certainty wearing a suit. Still, the escalation keeps building. Because once a legacy-era documentary conversation goes mainstream, it doesn't shrink, it branches. New interviews get requested. Old clips get resurfaced. Adjacent stories get pulled into orbit whether they belong or not. And if you think the reaction phase is the loudest chapter, wait until consequence and reputation. Ripple effects enter the room, because that's when debate turns from entertainment into legacy conversation. After the reaction fireworks comes the phase most viewers underestimate, the reputation ripple chapter. This is where the noise stops being just loud and starts being lasting. Because viral documentary buzz is like thunder, dramatic, echoing, attention-grabbing. But perception shift is like climate, slower, heavier, and harder to reverse once it settles. When a high-profile documentary restarts debate around legacy-era industry stories, the immediate reaction is volume, but the long-term effect is reframing. Not rewriting history exactly, but re-highlighting certain chapters with brighter markers. And once something gets re-highlighted in public conversation, it doesn't go back to invisible ink. You can actually watch memory reshuffling happen in real time. Fans revisiting old interviews, old performances getting new comment section footnotes, old quotes being replayed with new tone interpretations. It's like the cultural archive just got reopened and everyone walked in with different colored HIGHTERS. Some viewers start reassessing how they see entire eras. Others reject the framing completely and defend legacy narratives like historical landmarks. Same material, opposite conclusions, maximum debate. That's the documentary aftershock effect. It doesn't tell people what to think. It gives them something to argue. About for 6 straight weeks. Industry observers begin talking. About narrative ownership. Who gets to tell stories about past eras? Who frames the lessons? Who controls the spotlight placement? Because documentaries don't just present footage, they present perspective. And perspective always creates friction. If nobody argues, nobody watched. Another consequence layer is brand adjacency gravity. When major names trend inside renewed debate cycles, even neutral mentions get amplified. Association becomes headline material, not accusation association. But online, proximity often gets treated like participation by people who skip the nuanced chapter. Media framing shifts subtly but powerfully. Headlines start using summary language instead of moment language. Not documentary sparks discussion, but documentary reopens questions. That verb choice changes emotional weight. Questions feel heavier than discussion. Language is the steering wheel of perception. Public figures connected to the era, directly or loosely, often face renewed interview questions. Not because new facts dropped, but because public curiosity restarted. Journalists love a reopened topic the way algorithms love engagement spikes. Expect microphones to travel toward whoever is nearby, then comes the polarization phase. Not anger, alignment. People choosing interpretive positions and sticking to them like sports teams. One side emphasizes the value of revisiting uncomfortable history. The other emphasizes caution against narrative distortion. Both sides believe they're defending truth. The comment section becomes a courtroom with no judge and unlimited closing statements. Fatigue appears too, but quietly. Some viewers step back, not because they picked a side, but because the debate volume hits saturation. Not disagreement, exhaustion. They don't say wrong, they say enough. Attention withdrawal is the only true threat to any viral narrative. And it happens silently, but attention rarely disappears, it migrates. One follow-up interview, one response statement, one new clip, and the entire discussion reactivates like it never slept. Internet narratives don't die. They enter standby mode with notifications enabled. There's also the counter-content effect. When one documentary sparks debate, response projects often follow. Not always direct rebuttals, sometimes alternate perspectives, expanded histories, or adjacent stories. Media ecosystems don't like narrative vacuums. If one version appears, another version gets produced. That's not conspiracy, that's content economics. Redemption and reframing arcs become possible too. Renewed conversation sometimes creates space for clarification, expansion, or repositioning. Public narratives are not statues, they're software. They update, patch, and occasionally crash. What fascinates media analysts is how little new information is required to create massive renewed debate. Not new evidence, new packaging. Presentation changes attention. Attention changes conversation. Conversation changes perception weight. Same history, new spotlight, different. Emotional temperature dot, and here's the uncomfortable truth. The audience is co-author. Every share, every debate post, every reaction video extends the life cycle. Viewers say they want clarity, but they fuel ambiguity with engagement. Human curiosity is a renewable energy source with poor supervision. Right. Now, this documentary buzz sits in the unresolved zone, where questions are louder than answers and interpretations. Outnumber verified conclusions by a landslide. That uncertainty keeps engagement alive. Cliffhangers are the most powerful engine in modern media consumption. Because documentary-driven debate cycles don't end with verdicts, they end with interruption. Another topic trends. Attention shifts. Then months later, boom, the conversation resurfaces when a new clip or interview reconnects the wires. Legacy. Discussions never truly close, they archive. Temporarily. So when fans say this documentary wave shocked the timeline and reignited debate around the Diddy and Usher era conversations. What they're reacting to is narrative velocity, how fast discussion spreads, how widely interpretation multiplies, how intensely audiences engage with perspective-driven storytelling. If you made it all the way through this breakdown without opening 5 new tabs and starting 3 side debates, congratulations, your focus deserves a documentary of its own. Because this wasn't just coverage, this was a full-scale timeline investigation with extra sarcasm, amplified reactions, and 0 mute buttons. Documentary buzz like this doesn't just trend, it recruits commentators, meme creators, debate champions, and part-time historians within minutes. Now it's your turn to enter the courtroom of the comment section. I want your verdict, your hot take, your calm take, and y'all are missing the bigger picture thesis. Y'all are missing the bigger picture thesis. Did the documentary spark necessary conversation, stir the pot for engagement, or just reload an old debate with new editing? Drop it below. Bring facts, bring opinions, bring respectful smoke. This comment section runs 24/7 and recess is cancelled. Smash that like button like it owes you streaming money and skip the payment plan. Don't tap, commit. Every like tells the algorithm you want more deep dives, more culture breakdowns, more legacy debates turned into headline earthquakes. You press like, the signal gets louder, the next breakdown arrives faster. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never walk in late saying, wait, why is everyone arguing? Around here, controversy doesn't send invitations, it transcends alerts. One click and you're front row every time the culture conversation catches fire. Share this with that friend who says, I don't follow industry drama, but somehow has a fully prepared speech about it. Yes, that undercover timeline analyst. Tag them with love and mild exposure, more breakdowns loading, more debate storms forming, more media shockwaves warming up backstage because fame is public. But understanding the playbook is power. This is the fame blueprint.